we were talking that DayZ has accomplished something, or some things that you want to accomplish. Is there a particular feeling or experience that you're really striving to recreate in a game? Is there a particular thing that you can think of?
Well, I think back to when I was playing like Frontier Elite as a kid, and I was just so immersed in playing that game. It's one of David Braben's games, and I was just so immersed in it, and I was so, everything about it I was thinking about. I didn't have the internet, so this was just kind of everything. And I guess that's what I want to see in a game, like where you go on it with your friends and you're building stuff and you've actually created something in this separate little world. And that's what I think video games do that's so amazing, is you can actually explore stuff and do stuff that you can't do in real life. It's like I've been watching Cosmos recently, the remake of Carl Sagan's original documentary. And I love how they talk about the ship of the imagination, right? And that you can do whatever you want. And I think that for me, I just want to see games push more and more into that. I know there's a huge market for games that have a very linear storyline, but for me, it's about logging into something with your friends, even with your family, and then having these experiences and creating stuff and having stuff be lost and all this stuff, because it doesn't damage your real world, but allows you to explore yourself and the world.
So, as you go on to do other things, other games, are these going to be multiplayer survival games? Is this a Dean Hall thing now, or will we see something quite different?
I don't know. I guess, see, the hardest thing is, for me, to go on for a little bit of a tangent, is I'll read people getting really angry that I say I'm leaving or whatever, or then you say, what's the next thing? For me, it's very hard for me to think about that, because I go back and we work like 20-hour days on DayZ. So for me, that seems like a very long way away, not even starting to think about it before the end of the year. But having said that, it's not that I'm solely interested in multiplayer games. Like I was talking about The Escapist that I saw that I really liked, which is a single-player game. But I think it's beyond open world that I want. I think open world, it's a very simplistic way to talk about those games that let you really explore stuff with your friends and create stuff. And I guess I'm just fascinated on seeing where that can go. I think that the technology is really starting to come together for it. Things like VR and all that. And I think, hopefully, that MMOs are ready to take that leap and stop being, theme parks that people just go on and have some fun. Yeah. And they actually be about building stuff and exploring stuff with your friends. And I think, like, Rezzed is a great example. I mean, there's lots of people out there like me who, I have all these friends, and thankfully, because of the success, I've met them. But a lot of maybe my closest friends now are people that I actually played video games with online in another country. And you have a lot of people following streamer groups and stuff like that, and you have all these social interactions. So I think there's something really powerful going on with that I don't think a lot of big developers and publishers really quite understand yet. It's not just social media, it's going a bit beyond that.
But games like DayZ are helping them go in that direction. Okay, we're going to open up this now to your questions. While you're mentally warming up, I'm going to have Dean physically warm me up in the style of his army training. So, Dean, if you could take us through a little army warm-up, that would be fantastic.
We'll see how it goes with these things. But first of all, you can't, because it's cold in the UK, say, compared to Singapore, you want to do a bit of running, so you've got to lift your knees higher there. Definitely knees up higher. So you don't have your hat on and you're inside, so you shouldn't be saluting, but that's fine. So once you'd warmed up a bit, maybe you've got the blood flowing a bit, you'll do a press up. So I don't want to move those because I think they've positioned them. But if you want to do a proper press up, you've got to get your hands shoulder width apart like that, and you've got to make sure that you keep your back fully straight.
Okay.
And you need to bring your hands a little bit forward like that, and then you come right down to here with your chin up slightly, and then right back up. So there you go. So repeat, and up,
I'm pumping.
And down, and up.
Okay.
And so we do that plenty more times, but you're a journalist, so I don't want to go too hard. And then we'd probably move into some bicycle crunches and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, let's not do those. And also for the people here, I just want you to have a real practical demonstration of what to do if a zombie attacks you in real life. Okay, because there's every chance it could happen, especially if you were to talk to Dean Hall's brother, who is a virologist. Viruses and infections are quite scary. So Dean Hall is going to repel me, and I'm a zombie, so I'll come at him, so to speak.
Okay, so I told you the other day you'd go like that.
Okay.
So this is CQB tactics, so like that, and then you come up and you get your foot down here. I don't want to get too graphic like we did the other day because, yeah.
So that's a crouch and a stamp down the shin.
My soldiers are probably cringing because I was like the least badass officer on my officer training. So.
What's the most badass thing that you did?
I'm not sure. Probably. I did really well in my operational fitness testing, so that was on my first day. But
fantastic. Well, you go, Sergeant Hall there.
Well, I was an officer.
Officer Hall. Sorry. Sounds like an Officer Hall. Officer. Anyway, okay, we have some people ready for questions. Fantastic. So step forward, embrace the microphone, and fire away.
How do you embrace
like
the microphone?
Is this okay? Is this embracing enough?
That's fantastic.
Oh, I know this chap.
Well, I don't have any idea who you are.
You better have a good question.
Your desire to move back to New Zealand is inspirational to other people that might be. I'm sorry, I'm getting echo here. I can't talk. That might be wanting to move back to their home, having moved somewhere else to work in video games. Do you believe that you can be the leader that grows the Australasian gaming industry to a new place?
Yeah, well, I really hope so. And I think it's a really underrated area of the world. And if you look at like what Peter Jackson did, say, with film in New Zealand is a good example. I think Australia and New Zealand has been really hard done by as... I guess, a sector of the industry in the world. It's mainly been a lot of work for hire studios, and it's really soul-destroying to work at those studios and watch all the profit go to a big publisher. A lot of times developers will get very little money. They'll just get their milestone payments and they won't get any royalty payments for their games. So I also think there's a lot of people coming into the industry all over the world, and I think it's very hard for them to bring their ideas onto the table. So I think for me, what I'd really like to see is to have a really strong, even international internship program. We can have like 40 or 50 people hired on 2-year contracts and let them create their own teams. Like you only need to walk around the booths here and see the awesome games made by like 1 or 2 people. And it can be so hard for them to do it because they don't have the money to take time off and actually make these awesome ideas.
Fantastic, thank you. The next question, please.
What are you going to be doing after DayZ when you step down?
Well, like I say, I think the first thing for me is to... I really think that there's a really strong themes coming through with the next generation of game designers, and I think, you know, like we were talking about before, these games I've been really excited about, and I think it would be really good to provide a really solid internship program that actually allows that to happen. There's a couple of game design ideas that I've got myself that I'd like to see happen, so I think when we run this internship program, the idea will be to then choose the best people out of that and say, well, come and make these cool games. But I really think there's a fusion coming between VR, between permadeath, and between social media, and I guess that's what interests me about Facebook buying Oculus is maybe they think the same thing that I do, is that there's something coming where all this stuff is just going to smash together and we're not just going to have theme park MMOs anymore.
Fantastic. Well, thank you everyone for coming again. You've still got some time to go and play games after this. Remember your zombie protection training. Because we put real zombies out there, so they're going to come and attack you while you're playing the games.
I'm not sure it worked out too well, because I have to say, I don't think you were the best zombie.
I'll practice.
Yeah,
I'll
maybe
practice.
practice,
I'll get better at that. I'll get a virus. So thank you very much, and a big thank you to Dean Hall.
Cool, thanks.
You may go.